Hello, I'm Kerry from Mobilates, and it's lovely to have you here with me. We're at Virtual Village Hall. We're going to do 30 minutes of really gentle Pilates inspired movements. I keep a little lookout for your comments, and sometimes I can see them where I'm just standing over here and I can say hello to the regulars, the new people who pop in. You can always let me know where you are, how you're getting on. It's a bit warmer, so you might want to remember having something with you. I normally have a drink of water with me, and I feel more like having it at the moment. Definitely need a little bit more water. And just take care where you're doing this exercise. So you need a little bit of space, and you need to make sure it's clear, and watch out for things like dogs and cats. They love to get really close, especially when we go down lower or we're sitting. So just keep an eye. We're going to be standing or sitting to start. And then we take a lie down, and it can be a lie down on the floor, but if you're not comfortable getting down to the floor, it can also be on a bed, and you can do this from the floor by your bed, sitting on your bed, and then lying on your bed. Just pull the duvet back. We're going to make a start, sitting or standing, so that you feel secure. So if you feel wobbly standing, sit down. If you're okay standing, put your feet a little wider. My feet are definitely wider than when I'm doing my sort of full Pilates stance. My feet are turned out a little bit, just want to feel comfortable. Give your belly a little stroke just so it softens. And then we're going to have, who's that? Hello Jackie, hi, nice to have you. As if you're trying to show me your nails. And they're just going to float upwards. And then we're going to come down. It's almost like a very gentle stop sign, and you're getting that little bend at the wrist, or a little extension really of the wrist, technical, but you know what I mean. That soft stop sign, and your nails the other way, that's a good guidance. And now as we're doing this, let's introduce some breath. So next time your hands go up, it's an inhale through the nose, and let your belly receive that inhale, so let it swell out a little. And then when you get to the top of your inhale, the top of your fingers, you can see mine just dangling down here. Exhale through the mouth, nice and slow. Lovely. Inhale. And exhale. And you can imagine that there's a waterfall in front of you, and your fingers are just stroking through it. And then coming down the other way, your finger pads just brushing past. Or you could imagine that you're stroking a huge animal, and so when you stroke downwards, the fur is all going in that downwards direction. And as you go up, it's just going in that slight opposite direction when it goes a little darker, just because it's going sort of the wrong way. It's a bit like when you stroke velvet. It's got the way that the nap, the pile goes, and then the other way when you get that darker look. So just thinking about those sensations. Breathing out as we go down. Last one. In as we go up. Last one down. Nice and slow. Now bringing the feet inwards. So if you look down, you can imagine a paperback book between your feet, and your feet are parallel. Same if you're sitting. From here, we'll place the crown on our heads and take the points of that crown upwards. So you might have noticed I was like that, and now I've got a little taller, and I can feel this area is a little tighter. Oh, it's Virtual Village Hall just saying hello to Jackie. So a little tighter here. Opening out a little here. You might feel your shoulders go back a little, and then let them just roll and soften, and then take them back and down, and come forwards, little wriggle, and back and down, and just holding them gently there. I don't want to feel a strain, just soft. I'm going to put a hand on the belly, hand on the back, using the tightness here, this tension. It's a gentle tension, and I find it goes off and on a little bit, so as I rock forwards and release a little bit, it goes a bit tighter as I tuck my pelvis, my bottom under. I'm just feeling that lower spine, how it's feeling today for you. feel really happy one way, unhappy the other way. You might not really feel any difference. You might be unhappy both ways. That's it. But just take it really gently. And then holding that in between, so it's neither sticking out or tucking right under, it's somewhere, a Goldilocks position, somewhere in between. And then we'll turn our head round to each side, just looking, if you can, towards each wall. But if your head won't turn that far, keep it much smaller. Depends on your range of movement. But also imagine you've got eyes in the back of your head. So you're pulling a little back here, making your neck just that little bit longer. And I'm definitely not going to go as far as I know I can. Don't want to go to the point of strain, we're just warming up. And then we're going to turn to one side, look up and roll downwards. Look up, roll downwards. Or any other neck roll that feels nice to you. And we're just going again for that warming, movement, mobility. Last one, just evening out the sides. I think I've got one more here. And then starting the shoulder roll. If you're sitting, if you've got sore shoulders, nice benefit to sitting is you can rest your hands there so the weight of your arms is a little bit supported. And if that then feels okay, you can let your arms hang down. And just aiming to get a smooth movement. So it doesn't need to be the biggest circles. And I like to bring the breath in, breathing in as we go up, breathing out as we go back. And just watching that your head doesn't start coming forwards as you do the movement. Trying to keep that length. It takes a lot of concentration to stop the head going forwards. Last one like this. And then just letting your legs go a little bit wider. They could go a bit wild as well if you feel like going wild. Trying to keep it calm. Just starting to turn, just from the waist here, while you're just moving your hands through water. Let your arms go with you. And then starting to lift your feet off the floor and turn a little further. Just the same if you're sitting. And then taking your arms a little higher, so they're extending more and they're floating through the air. You can take your legs wider. Listen to the clicks in your knees or your ankles. My knees always click for this one. That's okay. Just a little extra body noise. And then bringing it back to the center. And then bringing your feet in again, imagine that book between them. We're going to reach out to the side, palms are downwards. And then as if someone's just trying to touch your fingers, just reach that way to the side, not forwards or backwards. And then over to the other side. Keep your feet on the floor. So if I was wearing a crop top, and I'm not going to do that, but you can see all the movement is my waist and above. And if you watch my top, at the sides here and here, you can see I'm not really into very tight tops, but you can see that's where the movement comes from. Just reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching, and see how slinky you can get it. That lovely movement for your spine. It can be smaller, and then let the arms just go. And then we're going to do the same thing, reaching upwards. Like you're trying to pull something downwards, a bit like when we see bell ringers reaching up but one-armed. So we're not trying to really pull here, we're trying to open out here to get that stretch. A little bit extra room between the ribs. And then taking it down to the side, we're going to now bend downwards and come up, but don't go as far as you can, just a little one. Again, you can see my pelvis, my t-shirt crease as we go over it. So I'm looking for that rather than this as far as we can go and the hip going out. Just sliding down and up, down and up. Next one's different. Turn your head away. Back to the center. Turn your head towards the ceiling. Go slow, we don't want you to get dizzy. It's a little neural movement, gets into the nerves as well as working these muscles in the sides. Last one. And then coming back, let's go into a little bit for our feet, just bringing the heel up and down and up and down, keeping this area as still as you can. So you don't want to go from side to side, just keeping that nice and still. Just getting the movement in the legs and the feet, just the same sitting. And you can rest your hands here, rest them on your legs. And then letting our legs and feet pause, taking our hands, palms upwards, offering something out to the side, back in, out to the other side, and let it glide. That's it. As one comes in, the other goes out. Don't worry too much about where they're coming in the middle. Just think about this outward movement, but the rest of your body stays forwards. Both are going out together. Bit of tension across the belly, soft in the arms. That's it. Now you can bring a heel raise into it as well. And you're trying to go just a little distance off the floor so that your ankles don't wobble. Same if you're sitting. I'm going to try not to knock into the desk. Oh, that solves that one, I think. Out breath on the effort, often a nice way to breathe. So out breath on the effort, in breath as you sort of recover. And last one like this. And then hands on your hips. You might need something for balance on this one. I'm going to show you this leg first. Think about the toes. Imagine there's some paint on the end of your foot and you're just brushing across the floor and then brushing it the other way. Look what happens at the hip. That's where the action's really happening. So just brushing. And you don't even have to sort of put pressure on. It's keeping it really light. It's all this movement here, so you could even do it in the air. Quite strong though. Last one this side. I'm going to show you the other one from the chair. I'm going to come a little forwards on the chair for this. So my feet are on the floor. Just scoot back so you can see the foot. Just brushing in and out. So this bone here is turning as it goes into my hip. It just warms up the hip and this outer glute muscle, really important one for balance and for knees. Last one. Oh, but these always give me cramp because the foot's quite curled here. Just give it a little wiggle. And then something for the hands. Sometimes leave them out. So this is like a little roll down for the fingers. I'll show you from the side, just making a little hook and straightening up. Hook. And up. Last one, hook and up. Now all the fingers roll right the way down and the thumb goes round. And then they unfurl, spread out, and then together rolling down. And then opening out. Last one. And then we're going to open the fingers out. We're going to start with my thumbs, circling them each way. And then the first finger, you'll find the other fingers start to wiggle as well. Now this middle finger. And this often gets harder, ring finger. You can see my little fingers going with it, especially on my left hand. And now the little finger, it gets harder to control. I'm definitely finding my little fingers harder as you go out a lot of the time. And if you've got arthritis or hand issues, it can start to get a bit tricky. It's a good one to practice, a bit of piano playing. And then we're going to interlace our fingers or stack them, place them under your chin like a little shelf. Inhale, take your elbows up, still got that shelf, and just push your head up, but you don't want to crush the back of your head, just a little. And then as you exhale, elbows down, head down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Arms by your side, we're just going to swing them forwards and backwards. And now you can either start to stick your bottom back as you go forwards, your back stays straight. If you're sitting on the chair, you hinge forwards, again keeping your back straight. You feel the weight go a little bit into the front of your feet. Excuse me, lost my rhythm. And then you can start, as your hands go up, maybe a little lean back, especially at the top, the head looking up a little, your shoulders and the upper part of your back, just feeling a little bit of opening. Last one. Oh, nice. Make your way to your bed, your floor, maybe even your sofa if it's long enough. I don't think mine's quite long enough to take my whole body length, and I'm not particularly long, I've got a little sofa. Good point to take a drink if you want one. You might want something for your hair, like a cushion, or a folded towel is really nice. Right, I've got all my reminders down here. Have a little drink. And remember, you can take your time. I'm taking my time just to get down properly. I'm not going to rush. And if it takes you a long time to get down, that's fine. I tend to start with something that we can settle into for a little while. So just have a wriggle. I always like a lot of side to side movement when I get down on the floor. I want to check that this part of me, which is the part that probably gets the sorest, and my lower back, I want to check that that's really comfortable. That maybe it's your shoulders or your head that you're thinking about. And then check that your head, your gaze is up towards the ceiling. If it feels like your head's tipped back a little, you're looking that way, and your lower back hurts, stick, trying to reach for, try a small cushion underneath, not something really full, just something little. And actually that feels nice for me today. And then once you've wriggled and feel that you're settled, now's the time to take some breaths in. We're going to breathe into our backs and the sides here rather than up and down and into the belly. And as you breathe out, tighten your belly and bring your pubic bone towards you. My bottom's just tipped up a bit because I'm doing that pelvic tilt. My lower back feels like I can't pull the t-shirt. There's pressure on it. I'm squashing it into the floor. As I breathe in, roll forwards. As I breathe out, rolling back. And again, if you look at the t-shirt crinkles, you can see what happens. These smooth out as my back rolls away and creates a little space. And then as it tilts back, there's more pressure and tightness here. These get their little wrinkles in. Last one. And then just relax. And then let your legs fall outwards just a bit, and then bring them in. You can place your hands here. Resist it a little, and then let them come in. So resisting you just pressing into your thighs a little, just a bit. You move your legs a bit closer together so they're touching. Now try the resistance. Really feel it down the arms. Try not to get tension in the shoulders. That's it. Keeping this tension here though. That's where you need it. Last one. And then take your legs so your heels are out and your toes are forward, so you've got that little distance. Now I'm going to take this cushion out because I know that it's going to push my neck a little if I go up into my bridge, which is where we're going next. I'd advise you to do the same. Arms down by your sides. Take your breath in and And then start a pelvic tilt, but this time just bring it a little higher so your bottom, you can see mine's leaving the floor. And then we're going to take it down, trying to, almost like those little steps. We're going down each step with our spine. Keep this tucked under as long as you can. Now check where your feet are. If they're too far away, it starts to get into your hamstrings to lift you up. So they're going to be quite close. Breath in. Going up, going higher. So I haven't gone as high as I can go yet. You can see this area is still on the floor. This area is up in a straight line. Knees are still pointing away. I'm going to take it down. But on this next one, I am going to go higher. So breath in, starting my pelvic tilt, squashing my back into the floor, coming up to a sort of like a ski slope. Top of my knee, down the shoulder, diagonal line. But you don't have to go that high. Now letting my knees fall out a little, going onto the sides of my feet. I'm not going my full effort. And then closing. And again, maybe a little wider, but you want to keep this height here. You don't want to drop. So maybe you're not going as wide. And last one. You don't have to hold yourself there, by the way. Keep your arms on the floor. And then taking it down. Almost like you're pouring yourself into the floor. I can imagine a bottle of wine, you see, pouring into a wine glass. We'll try that again. Breath in. Tilting up. Coming up as high as you want to. So I haven't gone to my full height on this one. Letting the knees open and close, but keeping this area really steady. Going for 3. Just letting the feet fall outwards, and then they go flat again. Even pressure. And taking it down. Lovely. Bring your knees into your chest. And I've got my hands very light on my knees, just stirring them in circles, and my feet come together in the centre. That's it. It's a nice lower back and sacrum, the sort of bony bit of your bottom, the flat bit. Need a nice massage for that area. And then taking it the other way. And then just taking the leg up and the other leg. And then put your hands either side of your legs, take them up again as high as you can. I haven't fully extended mine, they're bent. And then I'm going to take them out to the sides a little. So you might be like this, you might be fully stretched, you might be wider, but just support them a little. And then take them inwards. Taking them out, use your hands to support you. Might be like this, and then taking them in. Last one. Hands just supporting your legs so you feel that you've got them. They're not just going to fall or flop. They're controlled. And in. Little rock from side to side. And then we're going to roll onto our fronts. Now you might like a cushion for this bit. I like a cushion under here. It helps my lower back. Some people like a cushion for their head as well. I'm not fussed, I quite like putting my forehead on here. So we're going to have our hands with our forehead on, reaching the legs away, little distance apart, so they're not stuck together, they're a little distance, but the feet are long. And then let's give our shoulders a little roll. And I want you to imagine you're trying to lift your belly up. There's an ice cube under your belly button, it's a bit cold. So just imagine you're pulling that one up. Take a breath in. Keep those feet long, like they're lengthened. And then lift one leg up, like someone's pulling it. So you don't need to lift it high. If you lift it high, it's just going to make your back go inwards. You just want to lift it long, like someone's tugging it. And take it down. And then take a breath in. Breathing out, lift the other one, like someone's pulling it to make it longer. Almost like a tug of war. And take it down. One more each side. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And then see if you can bring them closer together. They might touch, they might be a little distance apart. Give yourself a wriggle, and remember that ice cube under the belly. Breath in. I'm just lifting both legs up and not going high. My thigh, a lot of it's still on the floor. Just going long, and then take them down. Let your bum have a little sway. And then the legs stay lengthened, but we're not going to lift them. But just from this position, we're going to take the head up, but we're going to keep our gaze going downwards. So breathing in, and keep that ice cube under the belly button. And just lift the head up as you exhale. And down as you inhale. Up as you exhale. Down as you inhale. Up as you exhale. And down as you inhale. And then take your arms a little wider. Let your head go to one side and just let your bottom sway. Now, I've really stretched my fingers out. I'm in a sort of goalpost position. So my arms are at a right angle when I look round to each side. Now I'm going to put my head, so I'm looking right downwards, squishing my nose. Breath in. Long legs. So there's a little bit of tension there. Cold ice cube under the belly button, so I'm pulling away. Press into your hands. Just bringing my head up a little. And down. And up. And down. Up. And down. And then we're done with that. You can either press to the sides and take your bottom backwards towards your feet. Now, if your knees are going, no way, Kerry, no way. Suggestions. Some people like another cushion under here, and so they're not as squished in the knees. Some of you would be quite happy to go here, especially wide knees, that's really nice. But to reduce the knee pressure, roll onto your back and just bring your legs in that way. So either position. And you can have a little wriggle from side to side. So you might be rocking if you're on your back. You can see I'm sort of gliding. And then if you're on the floor like this, you can reach your right hand away and take your left glute, your sort of left buttock, down towards your left heel. So it's a diagonal stretch. And then let it relax and just have a little side to side. And then your left hand and your right heel, creating that diagonal. A little flop. And then take yourself to sitting. Now you can either sit and support yourself with your hands, or if you've got something close by, you can lean against it. I feel I'm going a bit far from you, but if this was a little closer, I'd definitely be using that. Because we're going to do the legs in a little figure 4 stretch. This leg's bent. I'm going to cross this one on top, so it can be flat like that, or it could be a little bent, whichever's comfortable for you. So I think I'm going to have this one long. I'm going to extend that foot, and I'm going to extend this foot as well, just makes it more active. And I'm already feeling that here in my side of my glutes. But if you're not feeling it, bending like that, or feel it more. So whichever works for you. And just trying to let that area relax as much as possible. It's quite a tense area for many people. So a bit of breath to the belly, like this. Oh, I'm going to go onto my fists with my hands. I'm trying to lengthen that leg, keeping this one active, this foot. Stops the foot sort of going at an odd angle. And then we're going to swap over, so sliding that one down, with the legs falling in and out. And then just starting that crossing. And then you can slide this foot upwards. We're trying to get the foot on the knee. So it really depends on your flexibility. If I show you from the side, you can see I'm leaning quite a long way back. Just watch that you're not doing this and sinking into your shoulders. Pushing away a little bit. You can use fists as well. And definitely some breath. And then coming out of that one and getting yourself into a comfortable position. We'll just have a little turn from one side through the center to the other. And then we'll use those hands again, but this time push away, round your back the other way, soft curve, letting your head bow down gently. Hands behind your chest up. Take your hands out to the sides. Breath in. Gather up all the air. Touch your fingers, and as you breathe out, bring it into your chest. Give yourselves a big clap. Who did I miss there? Irene, you were there as well. Nice to see you. Anyone else who was there, drop in a hello, a goodbye. I'll see you again next week. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.